Remind me of what I say again.
It's like, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Black Astronauts Podcast brings to you. No, I can't remember the rest of it.
Barnum and Bailey Circus, nigga.
Yeah,
No,
no. It's basically
nah,
make sure you
this is
tell.
CJ.
Yeah.
The Black Astronauts Podcast. Say whatever else you want to say. Little thing in between, and then if you're
18
not
or
18
older.
years of age, you shouldn't be listening. If you are above the years of 18, then chill out. Blah blah blah.
All right, so y'all pretty much got that covered. All right, let's get started.
Nigga, that was the laziest.
Welcome back, CJ. I love it. I love that as the opening. Good job.
Your own destiny. Beautiful things come to those who try.
Another be nice banger.
Who try.
Fly than an insect, yes, let's rise to the top like a bench press. Lift and extend like a drift in the wind, cause it exists within. So pot floating above the rim like Jordan. Soaring over the heads, we stay soaring, ignoring any limitations they putting on us. Dormant, daydreaming, leaving the Earth's orbit. The sky ain't the limit, we rarely in search for it. So lend me your ears, make sure you're listening clear. Freedom exists in the air, that's why I'm taking you there. Who cares? You scared of the heights, bungee jumping with mic cords, using my life force like yours, and ride through the stars as we rise through the bars. Black astronauts, man, we tryna go far.
So, all right, let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Astronauts Podcast. I will be your host for the evening. My name is CY. Tonight, I get the rest of it. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's enough. That's enough.
I thought somebody was about to start Spuddy or the Dopalicious. I was like, hey. Yeah. So tonight, it is myself, Fee, CJ, I almost said your real name, and Rob. That's how we riding out tonight.
Indeed.
So,
All right, so before we jump into the nitty gritty, I want to take a quick moment to shout out the Patreon patrons that we have. The Black Astronauts Podcast is a podcast that brings a multitude of shows. We've been around for 6, going on 7 maybe years now, through a variety of hosts and schedules and ideas and iterations. And that is only possible through the support of our Patreon patrons that have been around now for about a year, maybe a little bit over. So to say thank you to those people, we like to give a shout out at the beginning of the show. So before we get into the nitty gritty of things, quick shout out to Peter H, Marshall L, Deloya, The Disrespectful One MJ, Shadrach C, Blackishawn, Nutella is Life, Sadita H, Ron B, Veggie Vixen, Teddy Funk, Pashto Chene, Felt 5, Mr. Glade, Keith Andrew, Shlonda W, Wonga, Cameron B, Simo, Baldwin, Ashley G, Chonilla, Knowledge, Dre, Donald, Ophelia Ono, Charlie Snowflake, Angela D, Beverly S, Jordan H, Tamika M, for wash folks who take naps before the club and never show up, DJ Food and Drink, Ariana,
That's dope. That's dope.
Just DeAndre, Devo G, I feel like I said him already, Scrum Master Flash, Nikki M, Scrum Master who came through and got her money up from what I understand. I know I saw an email.
Nice.
finally. I was about to try to slick that.
That's gas,
Let me get them Amazon butt.
right?
Bro.
Madden coming out in a week. I need to go ahead.
Bruh, stop playing.
Nikki M, Tasha Salad, Shauna E, Lauren S, J and Renee V, Hiroja Shibe, Space Odyssey Network, Jess T, J Muddy Clark, Byron T, Really Dope Media, Sharif J, and that is it. So as I was saying, this is the Black Ashes Podcast. We are on the Dope Podcast that brings you a variety of topics. Today we got some deep shit to get into. We'll get to that in a second. You can find us at blackastronauts.podcast.com. You can email us at blackastronauts@gmail.com. I'm sorry, blackastronauts@gmail.com. You can find everybody on the show through the various Twitters that you'll get in a second. It's also a bunch of other shit I'm supposed to say that I kind of don't remember, but that's the best I'm going to be able to get out. Oh, our voicemail, if you want to call the show, is 502-498-8814. You can find us on Facebook at just look up the Black Astronauts Podcast Network. If you want to get any type of merch, look at TeePublic, Black Astronauts Podcast 1. And of course, as I said earlier, the Black Astronaut Podcast Network Patreon is www.patreon.com/Black Astronauts, all one word.
Good job, bro. You
Yes,
made it
yes.
through that gauntlet. Good shit.
And well, it helps that somebody, I'm pretty sure Ray, just put the shit as a list on the front of the goddamn doc.
Yep.
The only problem is I definitely started on the wrong page. So we're going to be much better
Yeah, we're all
the
sorts
next
of
time I
off
have to
on
do
that. We're
that.
gonna get it together.
And we're off because we don't got Aaron B with us tonight. Aaron B had a minor emergency to get into, but it is what it is. So with the house cleaning done, and with
one more piece. One more piece. Shout out to Small Eyes for the theme song. Make sure you go to Small Eyes, SMALLEYEZ.com and check his music out.
Indeed. So with that part over, the CY, you can take it back over for us to run around and talk about how great everybody's day was.
So, now that you've had a little bit of time to prepare, Rock, brother, what have you been up to?
Man, I've been sojourning. Talking about the gauntlet, man. It's been the gauntlet week. So the Subaru, black man driving the Subaru. Damn.
We haven't talked about the rule on the show, have we?
The rule. Hey, loving the rule.
You call it the rule?
It's the rule.
Loving the rule.
I think Polo was responsible for that.
Man, the Subarus, they last, bro. Like, this is actually the first time I've had an issue with it. So the rule's down. Like, all right, well, cool. Get a.
Did you put on those complimentary sandals, those hemp sandals that you got with your rule?
Hey,
walk around in those. Those are
why,
actually the loaner car when you got a rule. They give you.
While you playing, they gave me a free like hiking water bottle when I went in. Like Subaru's dealerships wash the car like when you go to just get it checked out. Like, hey,
they do that everywhere. They do that with my Toyota.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Hey, I didn't know that. They don't do that shit for Buick. I learned that shit the hard way. You roll in with a Buick, like, and you ain't retired.
You roll in the Buick, they be like, "Oh, you got a Buick? Okay."
Nigga, let me tell you, I can't wait to make that last payment on the Buick, bruh. Anyway, so Subaru down, get a call while I'm at work. Guess what? My mom's toilet went down, and now it's leaking, so I got to help her out. And then I'm like, oh, I'm handy, man. I can fix this. They can't fix shit. Can't fix a goddamn thing. And then like on a little bit, she's okay, but then my baby, my wife, she slipped down the steps, man, hit her head.
Oh no, gosh. She didn't take that whoopie. She all right?
Man, yeah, she cool. She got all that shit checked out. So that's only fucking Thursday. Like
you got a whole other day for shit to go wrong tomorrow.
Man, it's about to get better, man. Like, like it can only get better. Knock on titanium. Like it can only get better from this point.
Super villain? What you got that's titanium sitting in like just reach?
Right. You got some orichalcum in there too, nigga? Is it orichalcum?
Right. I ain't say vibranium, nigga. That shit not back.
Obsidian?
But no, on the good tip though, went to BlurredCon, had a blast.
Yeah, I saw those pictures. It looked like you had a blast. It looked like everybody was having a good time.
Yo, I don't know what the deal is with, throwing out cons or whatever, but went to the jump. We got our cosplay on. We was in Photo Alley. They was like, we want to take pictures with them. I'm getting paid next time.
Hey.
It was a blast, man. So yeah, that's on the positive tip.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Where can they find you, bro?
Y'all can find me at Ronald McNair on Facebook, the website.
Okay. Feet, you ready to go next?
Yes, indeed. So, shit. I've been working this new job still. Let's see. That's good. I got the early Madden release, and I'm chilling on it until we finish the podcast because I'm here to be, professional and bring the podcast joy. I don't need to play the game right now. Although the Bears are also
playing it right now.
No, I'm not playing it right now because the Bears are on. So I am watching that like with my left eye while checking these levels on my right. Speaking of which, I haven't checked these levels in a second. Let me check these shits out real quick. But the real thing of interest is my son brought a sad face home the other day. And Yeah, I'm like, oh, like, bruh, school only been in for a week. The teacher already gave you a sad face. And so I had
Which
kind of sad
the
face.
older or the younger?
The older, the younger ain't getting sad
Yeah, I
faces
figured.
yet. I hope
Yeah,
not.
I figured.
He fell into the potty. That's like his challenge right now. Is
I got a little butt.
Oh.
That's my problem.
you
My
know.
butt too small.
But yeah, he brought home a sad face, and it's I'm struggling with keeping it in check, like keeping my like how do I handle this? Millennial parenting is like ridiculous. It don't make no sense because like as soon as he brought home a sad face, I started Googling behavioral health and Tourette syndrome and all kinds of stuff like, oh man, my son did throw a Lego one time. Shit. So like I'm trying to keep all that in check. At the same time, I'm trying to figure out like how do we handle this though? Because you can't, on one level you have to set expectations and discipline, etc. On the other level, you don't want to create isms because we have the fortune and misfortune of understanding how like little shit like that affects you long term. Our parents and grandparents, if you grew up fucked up, that was just your fault. Nobody thought, well, such and such did used to beat him with bricks when he was, 8 years old. That one guy, he used to yell, "I hate ends" all the time in his house, and then his daughter did.
Right.
Rock checked out because he didn't catch that.
That ain't even funny. Ain't even funny.
Y'all had to become a Patreon patient and go back a couple episodes to catch why that's so damn funny. But yeah, so I'm just a little worried, a little freaking out, but I'm handling as best I can.
That's real. I mean, kids are gonna get upset. They're gonna get, sad faces. You're a little black boy, like, you little boy, you little kid, like it's just gonna go down.
Yeah,
I think he'll be alright.
He's got so much fire in him, so I'm trying to like cultivate the
Right.
fire without quenching it.
All you
saying?
gotta
Yeah,
do
but he don't
is
even
fast
know what
forward.
Yeah,
fire is.
right.
It's just building up. You don't want to snuff it.
Right.
Right. You just fast forward, and then he'll be the greatest CEO ever.
Then I'd be
It's
nervous then, though, man. Shit is crazy.
Right. Like nervous the whole way.
Just nervous the whole way. I'm president now, Dad. Damn, but you gonna be a good president? What's gonna be your legacy?
You making me nervous.
Right. Not president no more. Damn, but where you gonna build your library?
I feel pressure.
Yes, man. Anyway. Yeah, so you can find me at Feek Blurman, FIQ_BLERDMAN on the website. Let me make sure I take a chance to plug Married to Shade. We went kinda shit got heavy on the last episode. If you haven't caught it yet, please check it out. But yeah, that's what's up. That's it.
Okay. Bet. CJ?
Hello.
Hold on, whoa. I'm sorry to interrupt you, CJ, but don't just hello like we ain't been missing you for a couple of months. Like, can we get a quick like welcome back ovation for CJ?
Baby, come back.
Wait, can we not? Because I feel like every show I come on, it's like, welcome back, nigga. We haven't seen you in months.
Yeah.
So I was thinking,
She like, it
can I
feels
just come
bad.
in and be comfortable?
I was thinking we could just act like this was not a big deal. Just, da-da-da.
She like,
All right.
I don't want y'all to love on me.
Right.
Stop.
All right, it's too much.
All right.
I
Run
get
it back. CJ, what have you been up to?
Hello. So what have I been up to? A whole lot, but I'm almost finished with my graduate program. I've done all the coursework. I just have to write my thesis and my portfolio and present to my department. So that's where I've been. And so a couple of weeks ago, I took my first vacation by myself, which was great.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
interesting,
Yeah. Well, so I drove myself to Savannah and I stayed in Savannah. I went to Cumberland Island. And so Cumberland Island it's no longer residential. It's like a protected national park. And there are these wild horses, well, not wild horses, but feral horses, all this wildlife. And I don't know, I felt like I was on an adventure and I reconnected with myself, and so that was dope. And it's just in time to get back to school. So
That's what's up.
that's what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I forgot. Normal people ain't started school yet. Oh, real quick, I'm sorry, and maybe could be another update. Are you still just teaching, or did you move into? I remember hearing you say you was moving into like not a leadership, but what is it?
Corporate.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So yeah, I am. So yeah, I'm still teaching, but I'm also developing like training programs for a company.
Yeah, you trying to put that shit out there, just that shit in the bag yet to be just putting that shit out on this controversial ass podcast. I definitely understand.
Well, yeah. So I mean, I have slipped up a few times and said my school and whatever. So I'm gonna just be careful. But yeah,
definitely.
I
Better to
have
be careful than to be sorry, nigga.
Right.
yeah. So I got one foot in the classroom and one foot in the corporate world right now, just to see what it feels like.
Indeed. Where can they find you at, CJ?
On Twitter at CJ Taught Me.
Have you ever tweeted before? Is that a thing that
Yeah,
happens?
yes, I have. There are a few tweets I've tweeted a little bit.
Well, we're happy.
But you know what? I don't even think I have Twitter the app on my phone.
Well, don't no. Let's yeah. She about to do a lot more twits though, y'all. Like her twit.
Yes,
her
I
twit game is
promise.
coming through.
You about to up your twit game out here?
Yep, I'm gonna be twitting away.
Indeed. With that in mind, real quick. Hold on, shit. See why you ain't go yet. My bad. I gotta do this announcement. No, I was waiting. I
was gonna swing back to you, but I got you.
My bad.
Yeah, what I have been up to is I've been discovering ice cream all over again, and it's been the greatest thing in the world. You hear how my voice gets because I'm just so fond of the experience. Currently eating out of this world Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Out of this swirl?
Oat. No, nigga, oat.
Oat? Like oatmeal? Like oats?
Like oatmeal cookie. Like, so it has...
you know.
I know, right? I thought it was crazy, but it's brown sugar, fudge flakes, oatmeal cinnamon cookie swirls.
Okay. No, that yeah. Okay, I'm down with that.
It's kind of good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, I love ice
No,
cream
it doesn't. I hate oatmeal cookies. They're
Oatmeal
gross.
cookies are dope.
You.
Damn, all right.
They just might. Nope.
You know, like I feel like I should hate them because they're imposters. You know what I mean? But in their own right, in their own universe,
They got their own lane.
Yeah, but
And
ain't nothing worse.
and it goes directly to the trash can.
You gonna do one of them videos? This is how you eat oatmeal cookies.
Yes.
I hate them. Damn.
I've
Piss
had
off.
some good oatmeal cookies.
Hungry
Anyway,
children.
Yeah, I've been discovering oatmeal again. It's starting to get cool, so it's starting to get to my favorite season, layers. So it's getting nice outside. Leaves are changing. Just been working.
Minnesota, it'll be winter like 3 weeks from now, basically.
No, maybe after we might get hit in September, and then we might get hit like might hit us a little bit, and then probably by the time Halloween is over, October, or on Halloween, we might really get hit. So got a little bit left, but it's coming. Winter is definitely coming. Speaking of that, shit, waiting to get back to these shows. We got what? Insecure, Game of Thrones. What else is coming back?
Insecure is what? Next weekend? This weekend?
This weekend.
This weekend?
No, next the 20th. I have to double check because we supposed to do a show on that.
Did y'all ever watch Ozarks?
Ozarks. What's that?
12.
It sounds familiar. Is that some sci-fi shit?
No. It was kind of like it was like Breaking Bad-esque. Like fucked up white dude with a family doing some illegal shit, but kind of don't have a choice. But kind of does have a choice.
Anti-hero.
Yeah. He's not, at least at this point in the show, he's not as awful as fucking Walter White was, towards the end of his run in the show. But you know,
That show was so damn good.
yeah. And so this is like it's not as good yet, but you know, Breaking Bad wasn't Breaking Bad the first season either. So a lot of potential. Check that shit out.
Very true. Very true. All right, so let's get into it.
Well, so with that in
Oh
mind,
no, I forgot you got that piece.
yes, yes. So, Rock hit us with the lovely update about all his cosplay fun at BlurredCon, and we want to take one more chance, or maybe like two more. We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks, to bring it to the listeners that we are trying to get everybody down to DragonCon, and we are coming up a little bit short. We made a lot of big moves over the last couple of months, which is why I think that things were a little inconsistent. But a lot of big moves with the Patreon dollars that we had. And so at this point in time, we are just trying to get that last push to bring the whole crew basically down to the city of Atlanta for the biggest independent nerd conference, whatever you want to call it, in the country. It's super dope. It provides, a wealth of content to the channel. In a couple of days span, you get a live celebrity all-star cast type thing that happens at my house the night of, and all those things may not happen unless we can kind of really come through with a quick surge, because we only got about a month before it all goes down, because it's Labor Day weekend. So if you are listening and you got a couple extra ducats, if you could just go ahead and toss those, that would be great. If you can't do it, we definitely understand. But we're just trying to make it happen for y'all. So that is the begging I got to do for tonight. Now with that, we're going to jump into some great shit from CY. CY's show topic is kind of put mine to shame.
May I have some more?
Yeah, I could have probably just said that. I might cut that, and we're going to just have that as a drop at the beginning of every episode.
More. There isn't any more.
More. Right. So
did you read up on this first article?
So I've seen a couple things with this.
Okay.
Cause it's like, this one hits a lot of different nerves, and it's also, this is not me playing devil's advocate when we get to the point where everybody looks at me funny. This is me playing devil's advocate. This is just me speaking through the science, but we're gonna come to that in a second. So, how many of y'all have seen? I'm gonna call it some of your diet woke friends on Facebook, posting shit about people trying to normalize pedophilia, and pedosexuals is a thing, and it's the LGBTQP now, and all that stuff. But which is all bullshit, and we'll come to that in a second. That's all bullshit. None of that is actually happening. However, there was a TED Talk that somebody did, and I think it was in Australia. It wasn't in America.
Yeah, no, actually, I think she's from the University of Wonderland.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Wurzburg. I made her sound like she was like Willy Wonka.
She sounded magical.
From Wurzburg.
Right.
I was like, well, that explains it.
She went to a dinner table with like a rabbit and a dude with a giant hat.
And the craziest thing about it is when you actually go and listen to the TED Talk, the way she starts it, like it's so theatrical. Like she damn near sounds like she's crying the whole time. Like I went and listened to some of her like comrades, and this is personal.
Yeah,
this is personal. This ain't science how they're saying it and none of this shit. This shit is personal. They're so emotional about it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's not scientific. But yeah, so basically what we're getting at is this current, like this sudden surge in discussion of pedophilia being legitimized in some form or fashion, which just isn't. It's definitely not true that it's being legitimized, and it's not true that it's a sexual orientation. There's really no way to, it just doesn't work in any form or fashion. Well, I'm gonna pause there for a second so I can let other people jump in and throw rocks, or maybe explain. Not all at once.
Explain what?
Like just where you coming from. What do you think about this? Nigga, pay attention.
No. I'm just saying, when you say explain, I'm like, they ain't really that much to explain.
Right.
I mean, all right. So, I mean, we're supposed to engage. All right.
You're like, I don't want to touch this shit.
Man, listen. They ain't gonna say it. Anyway, I mean, like as far as I'm concerned, abuse is abuse.
Right.
So even if there are people who are saying that, this is, their quote unquote orientation, um, we we don't abuse.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that is, that's unacceptable. And there really isn't much discussion around that.
Right.
You
I
don't.
don't understand. I don't understand how this is a scholastic conversation.
Right.
Like, okay, I see you TED talks. Like, I'm no, I'm not even gonna start the argument because I guess we got to talk about everything because that's part of the reason why shit is fucked up and everybody, doesn't know what to do or thinks that everything is cool is because we don't talk about shit. So
Mm.
I guess stuff like this is important so we can be like, see, people are
That
tripping,
right there. This is what I was talking about.
bruh. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen part of this TED Talk or part of this conversation, go on YouTube, look it up. We'll post the link somewhere. Well, I don't even know.
But you see,
Should we?
that's my issue. I'm like, when you talking about don't want to engage, it's like I don't even want to engage. It's so toxic. It's even toxic in what people are connecting it to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not connected to the LGBT community. All of that shit that they're doing with this is just straight up toxic, and it's
That's the thing. That was the first thing because I saw the LGBTQ shit before I saw the TED Talk. And I still have some of them people on my page. I like to keep tabs on them. You know what I'm saying? I just dabble in those spaces just to make sure I know, how the other side of the current is flowing. And so a lot of these people were trying to use this as an indictment of LGBTQ rights, basically trying to say, see, this is why gay people shouldn't get married because then pedophiles are going to try to have sex with your children and they'll make it illegal and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no.
But that's old. Like people been on that bullshit for a minute. So it's like the other side of what we were talking about. Do we just talk about it and just get this shit out the way?
Yeah, that's real.
Can we have a TED Talk about how that's a fucked up TED Talk?
Right, right. Let me tell you the problem about TED Talks.
That somebody went and did research, got money, probably got grant money, like all sorts of shit, and now she feels emboldened enough to have a TED Talk about this shit.
That's, according to what I remember, she said that was like kind of out of context, but it definitely wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That's the usual white person pseudo intellectual, response. Oh, this was taken out of context. No, there's no way we could take that what you said, any of those sound bites out of context.
Right.
You just didn't want to stand for the fire. But again, should we really be talking about this on a large scale as a community? Because all those lies have been around. That's nothing new.
Yeah, because I think the problem is like lies. Like there's also now people that believe the Earth is flat, and I think it's partially because we laughed about it too much early on.
Damn you, B.O.B.
We made too many jokes and didn't realize like a lot of people were waiting on their shot.
And this is where school is fundamental because it's just like if you paid a little bit of attention in science, a little bit of attention in math class, you would know that shit makes absolutely no sense. Like all these theories niggas be trying to come up with, well, how come nobody's ever walked to the edge? I'm like, nigga.
Don't get me.
What about clouds? And this, I'm like, nigga, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
We were all sitting in class suffering through this shit.
Right. Reciting Bone Thugs and Harmony lyrics. That's to a real specific person too, by the way. That's a specific nigga I'm talking to.
Darts.
He was real cool because he knew all the lyrics to Buddha Lover, but he wasn't paying attention in 6th grade fucking earth science. Goddamn.
Dart.
But back to within the same vein. So let me. I just pulled this shit up, and so I want to take a moment to, as the person that's kind of in this lane to an extent, because a lot of my shit is men's health and sexuality. So like I've been here before. So here is what she's trying to say, which is that being attracted to prepubescent children, or whatever the term she used, is an unchangeable sexual orientation. And that is false. Now, the thing that gives her a modicum of truth is that there are very few people that are sexual deviants or predators, whatever you want to call them. Once they've done that, very few of them are able to stop. It is a compulsion. But that would be like saying being a serial killer is a sexual orientation, you know what I'm saying, or a social orientation. Like, it's not it's not an act of love. It's an act of addiction or compulsion. That's the most you can really give them. You know what I'm saying? But like beyond that, it's kind of just ass pulling. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, ooh, how can I get my shit published? How can I make a name for myself in academia? Let me be the person that says this. That's how a lot of
but hold on. Where does that train go?
What do you mean?
How are you the pedophile chick? Like, where are you aiming? Where are you trying to get to? Like where's your
Oh, we got a bad echo. I guess it's gone now.
What's the point?
I mean, in the world of academia, like, I never forget when I really knew I was not going to try to be a college professor is when I looked up, just as a joke, the sociology of cats and realized there was a whole lane of people that just wrote papers about cats. So I was good.
Play Guess the Race?
No, don't even, let's not even bring it out for that. CJ, we ain't heard from you yet on this one. Any thoughts?
I mean, you can guess. Like, I don't. Nah, I'm not with the shit. I can't even try to rationalize it, or I can't even consider it.
Yeah.
No way.
I wonder if she has kids or wants kids. That's a whole nother dimension of Doctor Who fuckery. Like, how do you show your kids your diploma on the wall for what you got it for?
So what'd you get your PhD in, Mom? I helped people understand, perverts and people that want to have sex with boys like you. Like, no, Mom, no,
bro.
But you know what, though?
You might have to call them people. I feel like that would be one time where it would be justified to call them people to come get somebody's child.
But you just made me think, though, and this is gonna sound bad, so I apologize to any of my colleagues that's gonna come around to this.
Oh gosh.
I think, CJ, you probably know where I'm about to go. White feminists are capable of some awful things, as long as it gets the bag. Like, I've seen and heard, and it's like, especially ones that are, like you said, I don't know if she has kids. I imagine she doesn't, because I don't know what it is. Like, when you get into some of these really radical white feminist theories, they really are all on some shock value shit. There's the section of white feminism that is like having sex with a man is automatically rape. There's the section that says nobody should ever have children. And then there's like chicks like this. I don't want to claim her politics as being within a feminist framework, but I imagine it's pretty close. And so, like, a lot of them, especially in the academic world, where the only way to get the bag is to come up with a whole new way to say something wild. Yeah, man, that's how they get down sometimes, and they don't really care what.
So you're basically saying they're
like white men.
No, I was gonna say like Lil Uzi Vert and them. But never mind.
Go ahead.
Say whatever to get the bag. But my bad. Go ahead.
I have to agree with Feet and say that I think there are some white feminists, certain sectors, segments, whatever, who aspire to like white masculinity.
Yeah. To the power lane of that.
Yeah. And it's like they are probably but they can, it's problematic as violent, yeah, and as like power hungry.
Right.
Mhm.
And they hide it behind feminist academic theory. You know what I'm saying? They're able to hide it way better. Like the one thing I'll give white men is that, like, if you catch them, they like, you got me, but what the fuck you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you catch them doing some fuck shit, they'll semi-admit it and or be like, deal with it, whatever. But white feminists will act like, no, I was doing this fuck shit to help everybody.
It's like I
Oh
say
yeah, those
about
white women tears.
Right.
oh,
I was
that's
scared.
I was
I
look,
was scared. I was
look,
frightened.
look. No, but you know, in a lot of ways, objectivity is weaponized.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it from this, and it's always interesting to me because it's like your objective, your objectivity, your clinical dissonance, often is about some shit that don't affect you directly.
Often.
You know, I'm gonna figure out, how welfare affects black boys or some shit. Well, where do you live? What?
Right.
Or I'm gonna open up this community garden, but I'm gonna put up a fence, and I'm gonna call the cops on anyone that steals in their community from that garden.
Right. Shit. Hopefully that
Yep.
didn't pop with
That
it.
definitely sounds like that, and that's real shit. That's real shit. Like working in nonprofits, you see it all the time. When you figure out, like, you're working in the area you don't even vote in.
Man, listen,
Right.
wouldn't live there if we paid you to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
OT are Republican as fuck too.
Right.
You
Yo,
working in
you
Yeah.
extra liberal. You got like the ugly white girl feminist haircut that's like purple or turquoise or some shit. But your husband is a fucking stockbroker that voted for Donald Trump, and all his friends, and you hang out with them and you try to tell
But
them.
he's different. That's just one part of him.
But again, different searching for power in different ways.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about power, and they think the easiest and the quickest place to go get it is over disenfranchised brown people.
Right.
And they do.
yeah, they'll forsake anybody in the name of allyship too. That's the other thing.
Right.
And they will act as if their presence is enough. Like, sis, what are you talking about? Like another way of looking at pedophiles.
Why do we need another way?
Why? Right. Why?
Like
why are we even trying to normalize it? Like, why?
Right. Because the only thing that is relevant to talking about and I put strong air quotes support of pedophiles is that the way basically the way the system handles them after the fact, especially ones whose crimes are not in the like extremer end of the spectrum, it actually creates more problems for everybody else along the lines. When like people can't live in certain areas and like that creates isolation, then they're more likely to offend, yada yada yada. Like, so if you want to talk about that, like there's a conversation there, but we don't have to normalize that shit in order to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like there's plenty of legal precedent to talk about what the appropriate response to a criminal act is. It doesn't have to. We don't have to say, well, murder is it's just a way of life for these people. So, we don't have to do that. Just talk about the legal elements. It's fine. But no, you got to make a name for them. Everybody got to get a bag. And the irony is, like, while they're in our neighborhoods trying to like help us and marching with us and shit in the streets, but like they hometowns in middle of nowhere, Georgia and North Carolina and wherever else are like all fucked up, and all their family members voted for Donald Trump, and all their family members' cousins voted for Donald Trump, and don't recognize like how that shit's hurting them, but they won't go back there to fix that shit where they're needed and where they could be most effective.
No, I think all white folks recognize what happened.
Yeah, they don't want to do it though.
Whatever the fuck. Yep, they're just whiting.
Yeah, it's like if y'all really want to help, man, move back to Jumper Bump, Georgia. Nah, sorry.
Come on back to Roseville. Come back to Roseville, Minnesota.
Right.
And I think it's worth mentioning. There are discussions around what true allyship really looks like. And the way I like to think of it is, you got to position yourself as an intern, where the people that you say that you're trying to support, they're the ones who get the credit. You do the grunt work. When an opportunity comes to be uplifted, you let them step up front. You are there to learn and to be a value added,
And to be
you know,
helpful.
period. You know.
Go
Um,
go be a blessing to somebody.
man,
Like
listen.
don't fuck it up. Don't try to jump in front. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe after, I don't know, 50, I don't know, 80 years of that, then maybe when y'all come to us, need some help.
Right.
Well, let the community uplift you. If you do it right, the community
They
the
put you. They
community
put you
show
in front.
love.
I saw a video of an old white woman
That's part
dancing
of
this
our
day, and they
Achilles
was
heel.
like, "Oh, she gets to come to the cookout." Now I don't know about that. I feel like we're still suspending all cookout invitations until further notice.
That's part of our Achilles heel. That's part of what fucks us up.
Right. There's
Because
a cookout
we're
waiting
all up.
list.
You said it's a cookout
It's a
what?
cookout waiting list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
it's
can be put on the
definitely a
list for
waiting
the
list.
for the waiting list once we're back into like evaluating cookout participation. But
At this point, fuck the list. Like, don't nobody know where the list
Yeah.
is. The list is in somebody's trunk somewhere on a piece of paper. Don't nobody really care. We're gonna start over from the beginning
Right.
if we ever have to use a list. Like, fuck that list.
See, my thing is, so who, taking it back, is like who's she helping with this?
yeah,
You know,
That's why I said it's
Probably
personal.
like her daddy or
That,
it's
yup. It's
yeah.
personal. Go listen to it. It's like she's up there doing poetry, Rock.
wow.
she will
It
not
is.
She did
disrespect.
poems
She
for
sounds like a little
pedophiles.
withering lily. She's like, oh, like,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I
It's
want to see the
it's the
crowd.
same
Actually,
reason they voted for Trump is because Trump represents to them like the men in their families. And so yeah, they're gonna rationalize and massage the facts and try to like spin it
Right. I guess it's not,
because
yeah. Sorry.
yeah, because then you have to face that the men who you love are monsters.
Mm.
And who wants to do that?
Right.
Not no weak ass white women. I tell you that much.
no.
Oof. Ooh, I like
No.
ending it there. I like that being the last word said. I love it.
Look,
It's good.
all
CJ
right,
with the
so,
hammer.
Let us
Uh,
naturally. Let
That's
us
why I can't say where. That's why I can't say the other place where I work.
Mm-mm.
All right, so let us naturally scoot into the next subject. Let's skip B and let's go to C. C will be quick, and then maybe we can roll back to B. It would just feel weird to get into B right
Yeah,
after that.
that works. That's smart production right there, bro.
So C. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. Sorry. There it is. I was just looking on the internet and I seen a Rolling Stone article. Just kind of came across my feed. The Hateful Eight meet the biggest bigots on the ballot for 2018. From Holocaust denial to racism and homophobia, these men have loud opinions and they want your vote. I just thought it would be smart just to just run through these motherfuckers real quick and just
Right.
let people know who's in their city.
Because they
and
exactly.
what's going on. Joe Arpaio, Republican, U.S. Senate from Arizona. Let's see. Former county sheriff rose to prominence in 2005 for instructing his officers to demand proof of citizenship from any person suspected of being undocumented. All right, so that's Arizona. Arizona is brown, so he was out there in full force.
Right.
John Fitzgerald, Republican, U.S. House, California 11th District, Holocaust denier. Not even going to go any further into that.
Right.
Also, who believes 9/11 was a Jewish orchestrated conspiracy? I'm not even going to finish. Seth Grossman, Republican, New Jersey, former city councilman and county freeholder from Atlantic City, has written that gay men should have been quarantined in the 80s and called Islam a cancer. Stop there. Arthur Jones, Illinois 3rd District, former member of the American Nazi Party. Jones lost several bids for Congress before finally securing the GOP nomination this year at the age of fucking 70, to the chagrin of the state's Republican Party, which paid for robocalls warning voters to stop Illinois Nazis. 20,000 Republicans nonetheless pulled the lever for Jones, whose campaign
20,000.
website calls the Holocaust calls the Holocaust was greatly overblown non-event. Illinois. Oh my God. Steve King in Iowa's 4th District, considered a shoo-in for the 8th term for November. He has approvingly retweeted prominent bigots like Gert Wilders, Mark Colliet, and Victor something. Proudly displayed a Confederate flag on his desk for years. Once said white people contributed more to civilization than any other subgroup is in quotations, in history, and has casually characterized...
Wait. Just like pedophilia support groups. Go ahead.
Bruh. In history, and has casually characterized immigrants having calves the size of cantaloupes. Sorry, edit that, please. I went to college. Calves the size of cantaloupes from hauling drugs across the desert. Okay.
Yeah. I don't.
Nealon, Wisconsin's 1st District, self-described pro-white congressional candidate has pulled around with ex-KKK Grand Wizard David Duke and signal-boosted Daily Stormer founder Andrew Anglin. All right, we can stop there. And this is in Rolling Stone, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
this ain't from like Huffington Post or some shit.
Right. Like Corey Stewart, Virginia. At the height of the debate over Confederate monuments last year, Minnesota-born Stewart declared on Twitter, "Nothing is worse than a Yankee telling a Southerner that his monuments don't matter. You ball-tickling bitch." More recently, I put in ball-tickling bitch. He did. More recently, he's asserted his disbelief that the Civil War was ultimately fought over the issue of slavery. Sounds like a Minnesota white boy. Russell Walker is the last one. Russell Walker, North Carolina. Walker, who has declared God is a racist and a white supremacist.
I'm sorry. Is it wrong to laugh at that? Is that wrong?
Well,
no. His name
which
his
God?
name is Russell Walker. He sounds like a nigga. Mr. Walker, Russell. He sounds like a nigga with a sweater and a beard. Like
Texas Ranger.
Russell Walker, Republican, U.S. House, North Carolina's 48th District. Walker, who has declared God is a racist and a white supremacist, even though it does say in the book, hair of lambs will feet of brass. Does not sound like white man. And all Jewish
people. Are we talking about God? We talking about Jesus? Like what?
It don't have to
which
make
God?
sense.
You know, he might. He might have like a little Rush Limbaugh, on his nightstand. Why not?
He also said that all Jewish people descend from Satan.
And
he won the Republican primary in May.
So
not like 40 years ago. May.
So basically, he doesn't really understand his own theology.
Hold on. Just pause that and just run that back. Since then, he's appeared on the white supremacist Stormfront Action podcast, where he was scolded by the show's host for using the N-word to describe voters in his district.
I'm sorry.
Walker will face an African-American minister in November.
Where's this one
November general election. This is North Carolina.
But this is just one part of who they really are. They're really good people. They love kids.
Like they're family men.
And they really just want to stimulate the economy. That's really all they want to do.
They give to charity.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump set up a bunch of other dumb church Negroes to come to the White House and the same dude that looked like the one porn star. I don't remember that porn star's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. It's a pastor that looked like, what was the super corny porn star that had rap music? Oh, Brian Pumper.
Are you talking about the dude that looked like Lloyd Banks?
Yes. There's the pastor that's like all up under Donald Trump's dick looks like Brian Pumper. Like as soon as I saw him, I was like, this motherfucker looks like Brian Pumper.
That Pumper?
Right. Like did he change his life around?
I was like, that makes sense.
Right. Possibly. I mean, clearly something is, off about this dude.
There's money to be had. And
right.
He's getting it.
Right. He said Donald Trump is the most pro-black president of all the time. Now
on camera,
in
front of a bunch of other niggas.
Right, and I feel bad for this one dude was there, and I guess he he was starting to get some shine in his little ministry. Like I seen him on YouTube a couple times. Now he was on like Tyler Perry YouTube, where it's like a lot of like alongside with Steve Harvey telling black women what they supposed to do to be wives and shit. But like they liked it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna say nothing. But now, now he's on the other end of the spectrum, and like motherfuckers wonder why 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago, we were all begging niggas to vote, because whether or not you care at all about the crazy shit the president's doing, to me, and I've always said this, and if you become a patron and pay the $10 or $5 level, you can go back and listen to these old shows. What I said the whole time is, it's not just about whether or not Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will be good presidents. It's about the fact that Trump is going to normalize racism. He's going to mainstream that shit. He's going to show it to be a viable political platform, and that is dangerous.
But also, I mean, you acting like we wouldn't have got here.
I don't think we would have got here.
It's not like he was the only way that we would ever get here. Do you hear these motherfuckers I just read off that just won?
Yeah.
They've been around forever. Like, dude is 70, still winning.
Dude.
Hold on. Where are you 70 years old still winning anything besides bingo, maybe?
Well, no, that's the thing, though.
Might not be able to make.
Because he's from a whole. Because I actually looked him up. He actually has ran a bunch of times and lost every time, and this time he won until like now. You
so my nigga, he didn't lose enough to stop being a politician. He's still, like, I'm just saying, he had support. It wasn't time for him, but he was always there. And we don't have the time to run it down, but there's been grand dragons, all sorts of shit in the Senate, in the House. Like, that shit's nothing new. Just you see them on C-SPAN, they're there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's nothing new. They just don't, we weren't talking about it or didn't have the, the information that we have now. But yeah, there are definitely more of these crazy motherfuckers slipping in.
Right.
There's definitely more of them.
So
he definitely opened the floodgates.
I feel like without wasting more time on these motherfuckers, people, y'all gotta hit the streets and vote. I'll take a moment real quick for any people in the state of Georgia. We have a chance to make history by electing a black woman as governor. She would be the first black woman in the history of the country to be elected governor. She's a Spelman alum, CJ.
Yes, yes, she is. I was coming.
Okay.
I was gonna say it if you didn't.
Yeah, she's a beast. It's also like it'll be amazing on so many levels because and this shouldn't mean anything, but we know it does. She's single, she's overweight, she has natural hair, and she has a gap in her teeth. She has all the things that we're supposed to not be able to do the highest level of shit with on her. You know what I'm saying? And she's like legit has a chance to win.
She's dark skinned.
She's dark skinned. I forgot that one. A lot of people are hyped for Kamala Harris. I fucks with a lot of the shit I've heard. But I also know that like she fits the mold on a lot of levels for what's acceptable to be a black woman in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? This woman is not that, and I don't want to focus too much on her looks because her politics are dope and her story's dope. But it's just, to me, it would be such a powerful statement to put this woman in office in Georgia of all places. And that's the type of shit that's going on right now. Like, people got to be in the streets. You got to put your money where your mouth is. Your woke book posts, if they ain't followed up by work, then I can't.
So speaking of work and being in the streets and putting your money where your mouth is, did y'all see this first sit your ass, or the second sit your ass down labeled "Don't touch other people's stuff"?
Oh yes.
So during a protest, one of the
where was this at? Was this y'all?
In my city.
Love
y'all.
It. Go Minnesota.
I own it.
Because another brother got shot by the police, Thurman Blevins, on the north side. He, not to get too deep into it, but it's one of those situations where you, like, when you live in the hood and you kind of know what's happening, and you know people, like, how can I be? Because I know people listen. It's just it's tough when you know exactly what happened. Bro had a gun. He did not make good choices. They shouldn't have killed him, but they shouldn't have killed him. It's 2018 though, bro. Like, you know, when they hear shots fired, you know what they coming to do.
Right.
You running around with a pistol on you, like craziness.
Right.
But so people are downtown protesting. One great thing came out of the protest. There was this crowd of brown people protesting. They were standing in front of the light rail. There was a big, huge crowd of people. Everybody was downtown, and this older white lady who looked like she just came out the house. She was getting ready to go to sleep. She just fast walked into the crowd, and there was a sister
Fearlessly.
holding a picture.
Fearlessly.
There was a sister holding the picture up, you know, and the white lady walked up to her and said something, and reached for that picture and tried to tear it.
Oh no.
And sis
pieced
no.
her up.
gave no, you're not gonna take my moment.
I'm sorry.
Sis gave her she gave her a nice two-piece. The first one connected real nice. You could see on the lady's face that she knew she was in trouble. It was all bad. And she grazed her with the second one, but by then people had stepped in and just pulled her out of the situation. The police officer came over, just grabbed her and walked her over to the curb. She's like, I don't know why. I just what's going on. Bitch, stop touching other people's shit.
Right.
You don't know who she is. You don't know who that is on that picture. You don't know what that means to her. You don't know if she made it. Stop touching other people's shit. I wish she would have really beat your ass. Like, I can't wait to watch somebody really catch hands.
No, I like that it was like just a solid like 1-2. Because it was kind of how you do a kid.
She really should have caught a couple. She didn't bleed or nothing. Like, this is real life shit. I really need these motherfuckers to know to not do that, because they're going to run up on the wrong person who really real life is scared out there in them streets for their life, or who really real life that was their brother or their cousin, and you walk up and you rip this sign I just made. Who knows how they're going to react on some human being shit.
Right.
Like, white folks, stay in your motherfucking lane. You're gonna make shit worse. Ain't nobody going for that bullshit no more. Do not run up in niggas' faces trying to snatch shit out of their hands and tear shit apart and act all tough. You will get your ass beat.
I would love to hear her reasoning. You know, it's reasoning.
Sure tomorrow.
Yeah. You know, there was a scorpion on it, and I was trying to save them all.
I was scared.
I wanted to go home.
I was scared. I was afraid. So on and so forth. There's going to be something along those lines.
I felt threatened.
Let me tell you.
There you go. I'm sorry. That's what I was looking for. I felt threatened.
It was threatening for everybody, though. Like, as a black person, when I see a person that I don't know that walks up to me, you might get your ass beat. Like, I don't know what you're on. I might have to beat your ass to stop you from killing me. Like,
but you're so big and strong. I mean,
you might just come over.
You black women are so strong and tough. You guys deal with a lot. I just feel
there's no way beyond a reasonable doubt that.
But no, I think legally nothing happened, because real talk, she essentially assaulted the woman and stole her property. So the woman was well within her rights to defend herself and defend her property by throwing that two pieces of the biscuit.
Well within her rights doesn't always work for us, especially not in my city. But I'm glad that it worked for her. I'm glad that it worked for sis that time. You know, and it doesn't seem like anything happened, and I hope nothing happens, because that's the other thing about cops here. Like, you know, big city, small city, like, they remember your face. They'll come find you. Hopefully everything's cool. The police officer looked like he just didn't even want to be there. Yeah. He was just like, yes, ma'am, I know. He fake talking to his walkie and was just like, okay.
He did fake talking to his
you know, he just kind of sent her off.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Did you just talking to a brownie?
Right. Right. Exactly. But,
all right, so let's jump to the slow claps.
Gonna write a letter.
Can I introduce the main one? Because I just this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
It did me joy. So for whatever reason,
I think it did every black person, every person, period. Hopefully,
yeah.
See that.
So LeBron James is the greatest athlete of all time. Point blank, period.
King James.
He's not the first truly great basketball player. He's not the first athlete to build a school. He's not the first athlete to be quote unquote woke, and whatever phrase you want to use to describe being socially aware and feeling a moral obligation to do better with the value, yada yada yada. But the fact that he's all those things at once right now, consistently, has done well to keep his name and his brand excuse me, to keep his name and his brand, solid and operating at a high level, that he surrounded himself with strong people. He's really changed the game on what being a $1 million, black athlete means. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm from Chicago. I grew up under Michael Jordan. And although Michael Jordan did not invest in jails, that's the whole different Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is, especially in Chicago, was well known to not really be about shit. You know what I'm saying? Even when, I remember that like cringeworthy letter he or like video or something he did in like 2015, 2016 when
Republicans buy sneakers too.
Yeah, some shit like
Face
that.
ass niggas.
Right.
Then he tried to come out with something like, I'm gonna give $3 million to black schools, but I'm gonna also give $3 million to police. Like, nigga, no. That's not how the problem.
I just want everybody to still love me.
And buy my shoes.
Everybody love MJ. Look, I still got my hoop ring in.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they locked his ass out in DC.
Right. Anyways, so they locked him out. They didn't let him jump on. He went and played for the motherfuckers in the Wizards, and then they put him off the executive board or whatever it was. He was he was trying to get in the money spot, and it was like,
Yo, they changed like an old Baptist pastor. They changed the damn locks on him. Was like, you've been relocated.
Right. Anyways, so I say all this to say LeBron opened up a school. It's a public school in his hometown. It looks like fucking basketball Hogwarts. Is it Hogwarts? I don't know why I'm can't.
That's funny.
But it is Hogwarts, though, right?
You're fucking it up.
I know. I'm so mad at myself.
Go with the cues.
My bad. I'm sorry. I just couldn't remember what the name of the shit was. It looks like basketball Hogwarts.
Read the room. Hashtag.
It looks like basketball Hogwarts. It's free. It's free on all the shit. Free books. Free technology. No school supplies. A whole bunch of other dope shit. But the dopest shit is any kid that finishes the high school and is accepted into the University of Dayton, I think it was, they get free tuition. They get an automatic scholarship if they go there and are accepted.
Wait, real quick. That's funny though, because like University of Dayton got no black folk.
Right.
So
they were like, "This is good."
They were like, "We're in, please."
Right.
You know how University of Dayton don't have no black folk. Like they got a housing area for like for the freshmen who may not have as much money. They call it the ghetto.
Oh yeah.
Ben called it the ghetto. Like hey, the ghetto. Isn't that cute?
Because like it's not really the ghetto because like there's white people there, but since it's poor, it's kind of black. Plus they like hip hop there.
In the quad, we're gonna have this conversation about pedophilia. Come on.
So
full circle.
That's right. So slow clap to LeBron James for being a transcendent figure of our time. It's not too many of those. Like I don't know how many you get to witness in our lifetime, in one lifetime. I feel like we got LeBron, we got Obama, obviously. That's a whole nother. You know what? That might be a topic for the next show. Beyonce. But we're gonna say that. We're gonna say that for the next episode. Transcendent figures of our time. I like that. I used to come up with lists all the goddamn time. I ain't did them shits in a minute.
Well, I guess you coming up with a doc for that shit.
Yeah, just that particular topic.
All right, so let's get into the last slow clap. Last thing we got for the night. Did y'all look this up? The virtual dating?
I did. Not the killer. The killer?
No, the virtual dating. So basically, people go on blind dates, but they do it in VR. And you could dress up as pretty much anything you want to dress up as. There's this one person who's a penguin, another person is a fire hydrant.
Yo, what the fuck kind of game you got to be pulling people as a penguin?
I could pull as a penguin. I could. I feel like I could.
You know what? You're right. A fire hydrant.
You could pull as a penguin.
But a fire hydrant, though, like your only story is about helping kids in Brooklyn in the summer.
Hey, some people, that's all they need.
Here chose to be a starfish. Another guy chose to be, a scuba diver.
So, well, explain though, like what does how does this work?
All right.
Yeah,
So
I don't get it.
basically, yep. So basically, it is a high tech VR set that it's not like the dots on the face like they do for like Avengers and shit like that. But they're in a room. They have VR helmets. They have harnesses. They have gloves. They have boots. They have a chest piece, and all these wires that are running up into the ceiling. They're in a big white room, a big area. It has, I think, some fake furniture in it that's kind of staged. So in the virtual world, a table is a table, a desk is a desk. They can sit down and like chill and shit like that. I'm sure it takes some time. If some of us have used VR before and it's kind of disorienting, so I'm sure it takes some time to kind of get used to it. It's a company who sets these things up and they're blind dates. So you just get to go. You don't get to see them. You can't take your headset off. Like you walk in with your headset, you talk to this person, you can, dance with them and they're right there. You can see them, they can see you, but except for you're a starfish and that other person is a
So,
scuba diver.
but can you see what the person looks like?
No, you can't see until you take off the helmet and you can't take off. Well, I'm sure you can take off the helmet, but
Interesting.
that kind of you go through all this fucking VR training and shit just to spoil it in 5 minutes. Like that's gotta
I
suck.
mean, but
It's
people
like
are shallow.
The voice dating or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like a dope. Remember, like I feel like it was the late '90s, early 2000s, where they had all of those, '90s like kind of sleazy, but also like just stupid fun dating shows, like the Date Bus,
like
and
Love Connection,
and all the
Oh,
other
and
shit.
Blind Date. Do you remember
Blind-
that one where
Blind
they would?
Date.
That was
Yeah,
actually entertaining.
they were all entertaining, but they were also like really stupid. The room raiders where they kidnap people. They'd be like, "Oh no, where are you going?"
Oh
Like,
yeah, I used to watch that show on MTV.
right? Everybody's computer had porn on it. Like,
Man, everybody's underwear has semen in it.
right? It's like y'all
Walking
are
around
really.
with the black light. Like, don't do
It's
that.
black light time. Oh no, it's the black night. It's like
Semen.
it's semen, and then it's and then
Walking in the room like, oh, she shops at Forever 21. She likes to party.
I thought you were gonna say Frederick for a second. But yeah.
So that's what it sounds
so
like.
It's a real blind date. You never get to see each other, and I guess you figure
Sounds
out.
like a horrible idea.
No, that shit is
Yeah.
kind of dope. That shit is kind of dope.
Yeah,
I mean,
why not?
It could be. I mean, it might be a good time. I don't know.
Think
Well,
about it though. I mean, the fact that both of y'all are even doing this, y'all are like 90% there.
Right. And then you also think
Yeah, I
about.
mean, if the person is halfway what you want, I'm sure that they're both pretty much down to fuck later.
Yeah.
At a minimum.
6 weeks.
At a minimum.
Yeah, 6 weeks. 6 weeks in. I liked you better when you were a starfish.
You're
Like
starfish.
you're not a starfish anymore.
I was
You're just a
expecting to
regular
have
human
more
being.
appendages. But also
Right.
another thing is like this generation is
Changed.
way less socially effective. I fucked that one up. But like they they don't know how to talk to people without these electronic filters a lot of times, and so like that's like a lot of them, that's how they're meeting each other anyway. It's a profile pic, a bunch of photos that are extra angled and touched on both sides of the coin. Everybody doing it. Ladies, please believe them gray sweatshirt, them gray what is it, gray sweatpants pictures. Like nobody's penis looks like that in a normal situation. So don't think, oh, that's like that's it.
Wait, I got a legitimate question, man. Like, is it all just Photoshop? But like Rihanna on Instagram,
No.
we have. I mean,
no,
Yeah.
that's
no,
that's
not
Rihanna.
Rihanna,
What-
not
what-
Rihanna
oh,
herself,
okay.
but the women that she be lifting up. I'm like, how are they thick everywhere except for the waist?
I mean,
Is
you
it
went to Clark, nigga.
I'm about to say.
End of
shit,
discussion.
Your eyes wasn't working.
I'm like, but I mean, like, seriously, is
Because
it
Jesus. That's
do
why.
they
Because
just
Jesus.
saran wrap the middle? Like, is it is it
Jesus.
real?
It's
Jesus.
I remember.
It's a thing.
I'm
I'm
it's
like-
a thing.
To be
You
happy.
just forgot because you have daughters and a wife now, and your brain no longer triggers those like impulses and memories like they used to. So now it's like novel and new.
So it's real.
Right. Like that ain't real. No, it's real, bro. It is, it's how it is.
I think you asking questions that you shouldn't be asking. I think you should just enjoy it.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Well, Lord, thank you, Jesus.
Right.
There you go.
God bless the young men and the young women that get to enjoy each other with the young bodies, but not like really young. I forgot the first topic of the day. Let's just move on. We can kind of wrap it up because I realized it was going wrong.
That Illinois is squeaking out.
Right. Right.
Oh.
No S in Illinois.
Yikes.
So
Yikes.
go ahead, wrap it up. See.
So, I forgot how I've been hosting so goddamn long. How do you wrap it up? Where can we find everybody?
What did you learn, or where can we find you? Or,
we
got last thing to say,
No,
some
we
shit
have-
like that.
No.
We could throw some zebra shade at Aaron for old time's sake. We ain't done that in a minute.
It's not worth it if you ain't here.
True. But yeah. So I guess I'll start. You can find me at Feek Blurman. You can find me at Feek Blurman. You can find me at Fleek Blurman by going on Twitter.
Fleek?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Listen, I'm not sure.
You changed
right
it to
now.
Fleek?
All kinds of things that went wrong in the last like 7 seconds. You can find
Fleek
me at.
is so 2016.
Damn it, it is.
So 2000 and late.
No, I see, and you just made it worse. You can find me at Feek
You should
Blurman,
change your name to
FIQ
Birdman.
_BLERDMAN on Twitter, the website.
You can go get a record deal with that name.
That's not happening.
You can
Fleek
find.
Birdman, nigga.
So this is your boy Rock, ready to take it in, and y'all can hit me up on Facebook at Ronald McNair.
TJ.
You can find me on Feek Blurman on Twitter. You can find me at Facebook on Ronald McNair. Anywhere except for my actual Twitter account.
That is hilarious. And she's true. It's real. She will be like, and tell them this.
Right.
Yo, auntie screaming shit out the door before you leave. And
Right.
tell him bring my pot back. All right, this is your boy CY. You can find me anywhere on the internet at CEEWHY612. This has been another episode of the Black Astronauts Podcast. Thank you for hanging out with y'all. And as always, take care of each other. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.